time is 3 minutes past 6. Good evening. I am Blessing Eme Ogbonna with the news. President Buhari approves $8.5 million for evacuation of Nigerians. National Industrial Court strikes out federal government suit against resident doctors. Nigerian Medical Association loses 2 members to Lassa fever in Oyo. Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation begins loading of trucks at all depots. Ukraine's largest nuclear power plant seized. Plus, Russian and Belarus athletes banned from Winter Paralympics. Log on to www.ozisaradio.com to listen to the news live in any parts of the world. You can also follow this news broadcast live on our social media handles on Facebook at Ozisa 96.1 FM and on YouTube, Ozisa 96.1 FM TV. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved $8.5 million for the evacuation of Nigerians from Ukraine. The approval was disclosed by Zubairu Dada, Minister of State for Foreign Affairs. Dada said the approval was given on Wednesday at the Federal Executive Council meeting presided by Vice President Yemi Osibanjo. The minister said Airpeace and Max Airlines have been selected to provide 3 aircraft to facilitate the evacuation of Nigerians. Russia and Ukraine have been at war since last week over the latter's decision to join NATO. About 5,000 Nigerian students have been affected by the ongoing war in Eastern European countries. The Nigerian government has expressed the desire to evacuate its citizens in Ukraine. Nigerian embassies in Romania, Hungary, and Poland have received over 256 stranded Nigerians from Ukraine. Geoffrey Onyema, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, has said the federal government would commence the evacuation of stranded Nigerians from Ukraine from Wednesday. The National Industrial Court, Abuja, today struck out a suit filed by the federal government against the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, NAD. Joined as a co-claimant in the suit is the Federal Ministry of Health. The suit challenging NAD for embarking on industrial action from June to September 2021 was slated for hearing in today's proceeding. However, when the case was called, neither the claimants nor their legal representatives were in court. The defendant counsel, Bright Igualeona, on his part, informed the court that they had filed a notice of preliminary objection dated 25th August 2021 and filed 31st August 2021. He further stated that the preliminary objection was in response to the claimant's originating process and that they had not filed any process in reply to the preliminary objection. The counsel, in addition, therefore urged the court to strike out the suit for lack of diligent prosecution on the part of the claimants. The judge, Justice Benedict Kanyip, after listening to the submission of the counsel, said, given the absence of the claimant for the second time and the defendant does not have a counterclaim, the suit is hereby struck out. Reports gathered that on the last adjournment date of 16th February, the matter could not proceed due to the absence of parties and their legal representatives in court. The matter was adjourned until today and was subsequently struck out when the claimants were still absent. The federal government then instituted a suit against the association, asking the court for an order of interlocutory injunction restraining members of NAD from continuing with their action. Moving on, the Oyo State branch of the Nigerian Medical Association has said 2 of its members have died as a result of Lassa fever outbreak. The association made this announcement via a statement signed by its chairman, Dr. Ayotunde Fashunla. Fashunla, in a statement made available to newsmen today in Ibadan, said the death of the 2 members occurred within 24 hours. The association described the death of its members as shocking, while the chairman appealed to the Oyo State government to conduct intensive surveillance and sensitization on Lassa fever outbreaks in affected communities. He added that there is a need for the state government to take proactive measures to control the spread of the disease in the state. Fashunla used the opportunity to commiserate with the families of the members who died as a result of the disease. He said as a way to control the spread of Lassa fever in the state, Health workers must be cautious and vigilant at all times. He also appealed to members of the association and other health workers to always wear appropriate personal protection equipment at all times. The student wing of the Coalition of Northern Groups has called for the immediate resignation of the Minister of Education for walking out on Nigerian students, describing his action as shameful. The group also described the Education Minister as lacking the political will, capacity, and willingness to resolve the lingering academic staff union of universities crisis. While lamenting that the 4-week warning strike was already on its 3rd week, yet there seems to be no hope in sight. The Coalition of Northern Groups says it will collaborate with the National Association of Nigerian Students as well as other relevant stakeholders to shut down the country if the federal government fails to resolve the matter before the stipulated deadline given to ASU. Comrade Jamilu Aliyu Charanchi, the leader of the student wing, made the declaration while briefing newsmen at the Coalition of Northern Groups Secretariat in Katsina State. While noting that the current strike is the second industrial action embarked by ASU in less than 2 years, the 16th since the inception of the Fourth Republic in 1999, the Coalition of Northern Students leader expressed concern at the frequency of the disruption of the Nigerian education system, frustrating the ambitions and aspirations of the youth to acquire knowledge. And now to the business scene. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited, NNPC, has begun loading of trucks at all depots to clear current scarcity being experienced across the nation. NNPC noted that there was availability of 1.7 billion liters of petrol currently in stock. The NNPC Group Managing Director Malam Mele Kairi said this to newsmen in Abuja after meeting with the National Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, NPENG, and petrol tanker drivers. The Depot and Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria and Major Oil Marketers Association of Nigeria were also present at the meeting. Kerry noted that additional fuel would end the persistent queues which continued in Abuja and other parts of the country with fewer stations dispensing the product. Kerry stated that very soon the scarcity will be resolved, adding that neither the federal government nor the NNPC had any plan to raise the pump price of petrol. He appealed to marketers not to sell petrol above the price approved by the government. He noted that NNPC would carry out the necessary sanctions allowed by law on any defaulting depot owner in order for Nigerians to buy the product at the approved price. He, however, apologized to Nigerians for the pains experienced at fuel stations that appeal to customers to buy only the quantity they needed at fuel stations. Next is entertainment news. Nkechi Opara is standing by.
Good evening. Welcome to Entertainment News. The Nigerian popular rapper Vector has condemned money ritual practices as known to be common among young men today. According to him, genuine hard work is the only means to acquire the wealth that can give a human being peace of mind. He wondered how money, which is a printed paper used for exchange for goods and services, could possibly emerge from human blood. Eva Alodia, the Nigerian rapper known as Eva Alodia, has revealed that she gave up on her music career 5 years ago due to depression. She said in her struggle, she was able to overcome that phase of life. Eva Alodia, who revealed that she is recording music again, advised the young ones never to give up on their dreams. TV show Kim Kardashian has been legally declared single 1 year after filing for divorce from rapper Kanye West. However, in February, her petition was challenged by West, who claimed that the declaration might have adverse consequences, especially pertaining to the custody of their 4 children and marital assets. Kim further said that the court should restore her to the status of a single person in order to move forward in this new chapter of her life. Hence, Judge Stephen Cotran of Los Angeles Superior Court declared Kim single during hearing on Wednesday. And that was the entertainment news. I am Nkechi Opara, Osisa FM, Owerri.
Thank you, Nkechi Opara, for that presentation.
To tackle the current scarcity and all that
Russia has informed the International Atomic Energy Agency that its forces have taken control of the territory around the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant in Ukraine. International Atomic Energy Agency Director General Rafael Grossi said on Wednesday. Grossi said in a statement that Russian diplomats in Vienna told the International Atomic Energy Agency that personnel at the Zaporizhzhia plant, Ukraine's largest nuclear power plant, have continued their work and providing nuclear safety and monitoring radiation in normal mode of operation, and the radiation levels remain normal. The Zaporizhzhia plant has 6 out of Ukraine's 15 nuclear energy reactors, according to the statement. Ukraine reported to the International Atomic Energy Agency on Wednesday that the country's nuclear power plants have continued normal operation, and these nuclear regulatory authorities have maintained communication with its nuclear facilities. Grossi has repeatedly stressed that any military or other action that could threaten the safety or security of Ukraine's nuclear power plants must be avoided. And finally, on sports. Russian and Belarusian athletes are banned from competing in the Belgian Winter Paralympics, the International Paralympic Committee announced today, citing the war in Ukraine. The ban was a reversal of a decision the previous day to allow the athletes to compete in the Games, which starts on Friday. The statement said multiple Paralympics committee teams and athletes had threatened not to compete if the Russian and Belarusian athletes were allowed, jeopardizing the viability of the Games. The International Olympic Committee had this week urged sporting federations across the world to exclude athletes from the two countries. International Paralympic Committee President Andrew Parsons had initially justified Thursday's decision to allow the Russian and Belarusian athletes to compete by saying it was the harshest possible punishment we can do within the framework of our rules. Athletes from Ukraine arrived in Belgium on Wednesday. And that ends the news. On behalf of the editor, Chino Nyengwenyi, and the production team, I am Blessing Emme Obona. Good evening.